Prepare to get gas because it's time for the Week in Gear, the only show where you can go from boutique amp modeling to bat-themed acoustics in less time than it takes to tune a 12-string guitar. This week, JHS celebrates 10 years of fuzz, drive, and questionable Scottish cosplay. Fractal finally make a rig that you can put in your gig bag, and Gibson and Epiphone go full Gotham. This week is sponsored by 𝙁𝙑𝙀𝙍 Guitars, more about them in a bit. But first, you may have noticed the little change of scenery. This is indeed my new studio, albeit not quite finished, and I wish you could see what I could see right now. The heating is not currently working, and it is freezing cold here, so I'm doing my best to not, shiver too much. There will be more videos about the new move on the channel very soon. Make sure to subscribe and enable those notifications to find out more, of course. Now, as we have a new studio, I thought we'd try a few new additions to Twig. So, in this episode, I'll be including some sound samples from the official videos, which, of course, are credited to the respective brands. The second change is that there is no longer an order to the gear I talk about, except for my pick of the week. To me, it was never really clear if I was doing a countdown from worst to best, or if I was just talking about some products and then choosing my favorite thing of the week. So Victor, the editor, and I had a little chat, and from now on, I'll just be listing gear in no particular order, but I will still have my pick of the week as my favorite thing that week. I also still have a bit of a cold, so forgive me if I'm a little bit nasally. Now, let's kick off this week's most exciting gear with a revamped distortion that responds better than your amp. So, Wampler just dropped another drive pedal, and if you're thinking, oh cool, another OCD clone, you're wrong, kind of. But you're also kind of right. The TCD, aka the Compulsion drive, clever one, is Brian Wampler's obsessive, tweaked, and possibly caffeine-fueled take on the infamous circuit we all know from the early 2000s. But instead of just copying it, he basically asked, what if this pedal had actual tone controls and options that don't require a soldering iron? So here's what you get. A full 3-band EQ with bass, mids, and treble, a mode switch that toggles between standard clipping and more saturated MOSFET gain stages, and 2 internal dip switches. One adds a fat low-end boost, the other drops an extra diode into the clipping section for more compression and edge. At 9 to 18 volts, it's got that Wampler style and a high level of touch sensitivity that Brian demands. So let's have a listen. On one hand, that sounds like an overdrive distortion with nothing new there. But on the other hand, it sounds just like an overdrive / distortion should. It's amp-like, it's expressive, and it doesn't seem to get in the way or say, hey, I'm a pedal, and it makes me want to play it, which doesn't happen with every drive. It sounds good. The one thing I don't understand, and this is not aimed at Wampler because many pedal makers do it, but why hide extra things like fat mode and extra clipping inside the pedal? Surely pedal makers have the ability to fit those on top on the outside of the pedal somewhere. I am not a fan of internal dip switches unless they are absolutely necessary. Maybe that's just my obsession. This new TCD from Wampler is going to set you back about 200 notes. So, the gasometer is a strong buy it now from me. I will be back with some sounds from this pedal very soon. If your drive pedals feel flat or your OCD clone just isn't cutting it anymore, this one wakes everything up. Links in the description. From one dirt pedal to another, this one is part drive pedal, part fuzz, and part fashion statement. The Kilt 10 is JHS's 10-year anniversary reissue of their collaboration with 𝙒𝘖𝙁𝙀𝙁, and it might be the most chaotic good drive box that I've seen from Josh & Co. And here's the important part. The Kilt was originally based on the X-Pandora, that weirdly wonderful 90s drive/fuzz box that was famously used by guys like Billy Gibbons and me. No, actually more Billy Gibbons. The Kilt keeps that DNA, but turns it into something apparently more usable and way more tweakable, and this 10-year anniversary model has even more tweaks. At its core, the new model is the same layout as the older version 2, volume, gain, tone, plus the 2 toggle switches labeled G1 and G2, but what those switches do is let you shape this thing into whatever level of insanity that you want. You can go clean boost, edge of breakup, chimey drive, full distortion, or gated fuzz territory. It's like the mood ring of gain stages. But this is not just a reissue. They've refined the gain sweep so that the first quarter of the knob is actually usable now, which means you can do edge of breakup rhythm tones without jumping to 11 the second you nudge it, and the clipping circuit got some love too. In the official video, Josh explains it as having added more to the low gain section and removing the unusable parts of the fuzzy high gain. And as a fuzz lover, I see that only as a challenge to make the unusable usable in version 2. It still has the low cut switch, it still supports the red remote, so you can treat it like a 2-channel gain pedal, and yes, it still has the Scottish looking tartan graphics with enough bite to justify it. The gasometer is happily teetering around by it now. I'm a huge fan of the X-Pandora, and I have a few of them. I've never played the Kilt, but now might be the time. A big thanks to 𝙁𝙑𝙀𝙍 for sponsoring this episode of The Week in Gear, and as you can probably see, they've got a Black Friday sale. 𝙁𝙑, if you don't know them, make high-spec guitars with boutique features and modern looks, like this one. This one is mine. On these guitars, you will find roasted maple necks, stainless steel frets, custom wound pickups, goto hardware, and prices that are sensible. They've got shred machines, telly-inspired sleepers, and some S-types that feel like someone took a time machine and went back and fixed everything about vintage guitars. Now, they're not just pretty, they are built to tour, record, or just sit with you in your bedroom whilst you record TikTok videos. So whether you play prog metal, indie, jazz, or some good old-fashioned rock and roll, you'll find something that inspires you at 𝙁𝙑𝙀𝙍.com, and don't forget the Black Friday sale. Link in the video description. Now, on with the show. All right, Fractal fans and amp modeling mavens, brace yourself. The AM4 is finally here. Fractal somehow took all the amp and effect modeling of the FM series, and yes, the same tone engine that powers the Axe FX3, and crammed it into a compact, pedal-sized unit that weighs less than your lunch and takes up less space than your ego after a sound check. Now, this is basically a Fractal fly rig packed with features, and it's priced to sell. Let's break it down. You get over 240 amp models, including classic Fenders, vintage Plexis, modern high gain, boutique oddballs, and yes, tone snobs, even obscure amp variants that we can only usually whisper about. Each amp block can have up to 4 channels, which means that you can flip through in real time with no dropouts, giving you gapless switching between 4 amp and cab tones in every preset, which I think is super cool. For the cabinets, it comes loaded with around 45 Dynacab models, and that's Fractal's dynamic cabinet tech that gives you mic placement, room ambience, room ambience, and phase accuracy all in one engine. If, however, you prefer your own IRs, load them up with the ultra res support. And effects, oh boy, you get over 325 of them. Yeah, I wasn't even sure this thing had effects, and then I saw that. I'm like, okay, I thought this might have just been an amp modeler. It isn't. You get everything from analog style delays. I think there are a bunch of delays. There are 79 reverbs, maybe a bit more, about 70 drives, and a bunch of modulations. Hardware-wise, it's got USB-C audio, which you can record the affected guitar, plus a dry DI for reamping later. There's full MIDI implementation, there's SP-Diff input and output, dual expression pedal jacks, an FX loop for 4-cable method, or putting whatever you want in the pedal somewhere, and dual balanced jack outputs. This thing is nuts. You can build pretty complex signal chains, you can save complex scenes, you can reamp over USB, or you can just replace the whole amp and board with the one box that actually fits on your board. This is one of those pieces of gear that takes far longer than I have to explain it in an episode of Twig. But just know that this is a do-it-all box. And the best part could be the price. The AM4 is currently coming in at $699, which, considering the current competition, seems very reasonable. The bad news is, it's only shipping in the USA and Canada at the moment, so I hope they get some more of them very, very soon for us that are in other parts of the world. At this price, and the fact that I can't have it, which makes me want it, means that the gasometer screams its way up to wallet on fire. I have an FM3, but this could be better. Okay, let's get dramatic. The Bats in Flight series is Gibson and Epiphone going full Tim Burton. Imagine a guitar that instead of dots, blocks, or birds, you get mother-of-pearl bats on the fretboard. And no, these bats are not wearing hockey pads. These are, however, Guitar Center exclusive guitars. And whether you want a Purple Burst Les Paul Custom, a fire-breathing Flying V, or a haunting acoustic dreadnought with bat inlays, there is something here for your inner vampire, and possibly your Halloween covers band. We're a little bit late for that. Time to practice for next year. There are 4 models in this series, 3 from Gibson and 1 from Epiphone. Let's start with the Gibson Les Paul. You are getting full Gibson custom shop specs. That means solid mahogany bodies, carved maple tops, ebony fretboards, and multiply binding with the flamed maple top, of course. Headstock to tail, this is a custom Les Paul. The hardware's all gold because, of course it is, and under the hood, you get a pair of Gibson 490R and 498T humbuckers. The finish, you can have dark orange burst, dark red burst, dark blue burst, or dark purple burst. The Flying V takes it up another notch. And with that same dark purple finish, you've got custom specs and a headstock that might actually bite you if you leave it alone too long. It is ridiculous, and I adore it. I'm smiling with my whole body just thinking about it. It is simply pushing all my buttons. In fact, it is so beautiful, it deserves a full screen 5 seconds.
It's so beautiful, it deserves a full screen 5 seconds.
Now, the acoustic. This is a square-shouldered, dove-shaped dreadnought with a Sitka spruce top, maple back and sides, a set maple neck with an ebony board, with those bats in flight, of course, and a satin purple burst finish that looks like it was just pulled out of the Forbidden Forest. And if Purple Burst doesn't do it for you, it's also available in Blood Red Burst, Midnight Edge Burst, Transparent Ebony, or Ebony. These are some solid colour choices, Gibson, and there's not one of them that I don't like, and I can't even choose my favourite. The bat inlays, no, I can, it's the purple. The bat inlays are mirrored on the pickguard and the bridge, and this bat thing is so overdone, it's perfect. Now, the bat news. The bad news. All of these guitars are coming in between $9,000 and $10,000 US, and that pricing is bat crazy. You'd have to be raking in money like Bruce Wayne himself to pick up one of these, which is a shame, because that Flying V is hot. But, aha! Here come Epiphone to the rescue, providing you want a Les Paul. If it is the Les Paul you're after, and you can make do with a flamed maple veneer, and also Epiphone Pro-Bucker pickups, pearloid bats instead of the mother of pearl bats in flight, and a gig bag instead of a hard case, the Epiphone should excite you. Now this is only available in 2 finishes, dark purple burst and transparent ebony burst, but both those finishes look pretty darn good. This Les Paul will only set you back $899 US, and only available from Guitar Center. A little gripe, Guitar Center, I couldn't find out if any of these have a 60s slim taper or a 50s rounded neck, but I'm fairly certain these will be 60s slim taper. It's the first time I've gipped in this studio. Feels good. These Bats in Flight models are weird and kind of niche, and it's the kind of limited run gear that might actually be collectible and playable. Now, as most of us will be looking towards the Epiphone, I did review a different Guitar Center exclusive Les Paul Custom this year. It was the one I called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, and it was absolutely brilliant. I can only guess that this will be the same. The gasometer confidently makes its way up to buy it now for the Epiphone. The Gibsons, well, I'll let you make your own mind up about those. Let me know in the comments. I am sure you will. Oh, but if Epiphone ever makes a Bats in Flight Flying V with a thick old neck, I'll be in trouble.
Andy's Pick of the Week.
All right, let's get wholesome and cheaper. My pick of the week is the Harley Benton King 12 CENT, a jumbo-bodied, cutaway, 12-string acoustic electric that somehow costs less than some boutique guitar straps. In this huge guitar, you're getting a solid spruce top, maple back and sides, a rosewood fingerboard and bridge, plus a Fishman Presys 2 preamp system with an onboard tuner. And being a 12-string, you're gonna need it. I love this thing. It's big, it's loud, and it sounds pretty darn good. I've never owned a 12-string. I thought about it and I thought I had, but I haven't. And the main reason is that the ones that I could afford never stayed in tune because they were too cheap. They were badly made. So I would love to give this Harley Benton a once over with some heavy strumming, because 12 strings are notoriously difficult to change strings on and tune, and you just look at a 12-string guitar and it goes out of tune. This one, Benedict seemed to be playing it quite roughly, so I have high hopes. This is basically an Epiphone SJ200 with a cutaway, but about half the price of the cheapest one that Epiphone currently have on offer. And this Harley Benton has better specs. The Harley Benton King 12 CENT is coming in at around 300 notes, and it could be the guitar that finally takes away the excuse not to own a 12-string. The gasometer will show you that my wallet is on fire for this. Well done, Harley Benton. Let's hope they're all as good as the one in the official video. If you get one, please let me know. Okay, time for thanks. Thank you to these people who support the show on Patreon. Welcome to the new studio, everybody. Also, thank you to the people who support this show right here on YouTube. Welcome to the new studio, everybody. Hello, and yeah, make yourselves at home, I guess. Things will change, it's not finished yet. And here's a special thanks to the top tier members. Ooh, cold air. Alinta, Antonio Cruz Barreto, Buddha Blue, Boom Shakalaka, Buzzle, Dirk, Doug Paget, Jendrik Strelka, Johnny McBadminton, Kultur Matt, Mike Lute, Andrew Morgan, Gary O'Neill, holy moly, that's far. Oh, holy moly, that's 8675309, Josh Tamberg, Man Dude Bro, PQ Deads, Robin Kelly, Sarang Narayan, and Southern Panda 33. Welcome everybody. How have I still got air left? Thank you, top tier members. Now, scroll down to the comments section and comment your pick of the week, and let me know what you think of the new studio so far. See you in the next video.